This is gonna be so fun. It's time to go through the journal and discover my top reads of the year. These are in the order that I read them. Thank God 2021 is over. I had issues with this because a lot of people did their top 21 of 21. It was like the top 20 of 2020, which is what I did last year, except I don't have 20 favorite reads. I only have 19. So this is my top favorite 19 reads, plus a little project that I've been working on. And yes, this is really late because of the project I've been working on. I'm not even close to being done, but I'm like semi giving up right now because I'm kind of sick of it. So I'll show you the project as I show you the books. But I'm holding up my like little bullet journal so you can say goodbye to the 2021 bullet journal as soon as this is over. Alright, so top 19 reads of 2021. Such a weird number, I don't even know. So we're just gonna start first, dive right in. First one I gave 5 stars to. Some of these I didn't even give 5 stars to, so just a heads up. First one was 5 stars though, and it was Eldest by Christopher Paoloni. I heard somebody say his name and I tried to practice and I definitely didn't get it. Oh my gosh. This is the second book in the Aragon series and it was the only one that I ended up reading last year, which is wild. It's massively huge and amazing. 10 out of 10 loved it. I'm going to be saying that to everything. I don't know why I keep saying 10 out of 10 loved it. I've been editing videos and that's all that I say. It's kind of irritating, but well. In this one made me love it so much because Aragon himself spends a lot of time with the elves and learns a lot about them, and he gets called out constantly for being a dick. He is so stupid. He's like, I'm gonna love this chick, and they're like, you can't fall in love, like you can't do this, you can't do that, like respect our stuff, and he's a little shit. But also the plot twist, not even the red dragon, which is the eldest dragon, but the other plot twist, I'm not going to tell you because it's closer to the end, was just incredible and amazing, and it landed itself on my top reads of the year. I knew that this was going to end up there. For my little project that I've been working on in my bullet journal. Don't laugh, I'm teaching myself how to paint, okay? And so what I did was I tried to recreate the cover, and I think I did a pretty good job because I wasn't even looking at the book, I was looking at my phone, a picture of the cover, and it's like, it's not half bad. Okay, it was pretty good. And the next one, I don't actually have the book because I lent it out because I loved it that much. I was like, alright, you need to read this next. I'll hold up the sequel, but it is The Marrow, Thieves by Sherry Demeline. This is the sequel, which I'm currently reading, called Hunting by Stars. This is not what it looks like. I'll put up now a cover of The Marrow, Thieves. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. I have the sequel right here. But in this one, it is a post-apocalyptic kind of novel from the point of view of this kid named Frenchie, and he is an indigenous youth who's on the run because everybody in the world has stopped dreaming except for the indigenous population. So everybody else has decided to reopen the residential schools and take the indigenous population and harvest their bone marrow to get the dreams out of them. It's terrifying and crazy, and I did a whole research paper on it because I read it for my Indigenous Studies class, but I had a lot of fun reading it and I really enjoyed it, and I am just diving right back into this one and also enjoying it. This might end up on my favorite reads of the year list as well. But while the cover is up here, I'll show you my little project of painting it. I'm not good at faces, I will say that. I suck at faces, but there it is. I tried my best, okay? I feel like I did better with the dragon than the human, and that's kind of sad. The next one actually is the worst one that I painted, but we'll get to that. And the next one is the 4th book in the, oh my gosh, what's it called? An Ember in the Ashes series, which is called A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabaa Tahir. This was so good. Oh my gosh. So this ended up on my favorite reads of the year list, which I gave 5 stars to, because it had a happy ending, okay? Even some books that have a happy ending, they don't tell you where they're going in the future, or they give you the happy ending and then they end it there. They don't give you a little bit more, and this one gives you a little bit more. It was such a satisfying, pleasing place for them to just stop, and they did a little bit in the future, be like, this is where everybody's headed, everything's good for them, they might hit these roadblocks later, but like it's okay, they'll work it out. And like, I loved that. It was so good, and that's mostly what I remember from it. That and my favorite teacher, Who's my favorite character? My favorite character, Helene, aka the Blood Strike, got the best happy ending. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for her. I love her to death and I wish her the best, and she got that. It was so good. Now, don't laugh at me, okay? Like, I tried really hard and to do my best, okay? It's not the worst. Okay, it could be better. I tried. I really tried. This is before I had watercolors. Alright, the next one should be no surprise. It is the Court of Silver Flames. A Court of Silver Flames. Oh my gosh. I forgot what the name was for a second there. I'm like, it's Akatar. Okay, I understand why some people might not like this book because of Nesta's point of view, and Nesta's a bitch. But she gets called out hardcore. And I love that. Although she did not fully redeem herself, and I believe she still has a lot of growth and apologizing and shit she needs to make up for, she's now immortal, so she has plenty of time to do that. So I'm not upset about it. And I really liked being her head because she's stupid, and it was great. I loved it. It was so fun. That and it was spicy, so this one actually wasn't that bad. I think I did pretty good. Like, not the best, but also not awful. I got the color orange wrong though. What the heck? I thought I was doing really good on the color. Dang it. The next one also should be no surprise. It literally took about 3 years to read this book because it's so thick, and I promise I won't spend that much time reading the next ones. But it is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This was a whole experience. I don't even know, I can't even tell you everything that happened in this, but it follows like kind of 3 points of view. Kaladin, who I remember because he suffers the whole time, he discovers new things, and it's just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but he's a slave and a bridge man and a doctor and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then it follows the king's uncle, who's a prince. He's got some things going on, visions and weird dreams and research things that he doesn't really like. Then I think it follows his sister, but not specifically her, but somebody who wants to be her ward, I think is the word. I don't remember the word. Whatever. That girl who's studying under the princess is my favorite character because she is so plotting the whole time. She's just plotting and plotting and plotting. But she's also learning and doing good things. And she could really be good at the job that she signed up for, even though she doesn't really want that job that she signed up for. Because she's plotting and she's going to steal shit. And I love her. She was my favorite. I cannot wait to see where her life goes because the plot twist at the ending of this book of what happens to her, so good. Here's my Way of Kings cover. Not the worst, but you know, could be better. Okay, the next one is actually the cover I'm most proud of. But this one I also gave 5 stars to. This one I recommend to like everybody, and it is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Acevedo. Oh my gosh. I said it right before, and now as I'm trying to say it to you, I cannot say her last name right. Oh my gosh. Anywho. This thing made me cry the whole time I read it. There were lots of poems that I fully related to that hurt a lot, of like not feeling good in your body because it's something that I got interrupted. I love that it's quiet until I start filming and then my family just goes crazy. It got to me because there was a lot of things in here that she talked about her body and about religion specifically, that were things that I definitely had conversations with myself about when I was in high school and growing up, and even like now to this day still with my body, certain things that are like, why was I given this, why do I have this, blah 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 kind of thing. And it's just like a conversation that really hurt. And that's why I loved it. It was amazing and beautiful, and I think that everybody should read this. Now onto my favorite piece of artwork that I did was this one. I actually did really good. I'm so proud of myself for this. Like, oh, do you see that? It's so good. Art. I'm such a weirdo. That's okay. Next up, we actually have a 4-star read. This 4-star read is called When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey. I hope she turns this into a series or does another book in this universe because this was absolutely amazing and I would love to learn more about the magic. So these, technically 5 best friends, 6 best friends later on, they meet a 6th girl later on, but 5 best friends are magic and they have magical abilities. And they can see each other's magic, but they can't see their own magic, and they all have different colors, and they all can do different specialty of things. They do it like in secret. It's like a little club that they have, but it wasn't like something that they were given or achieved. It's something that they just found out that they had one day, and they were like, whoa, what's this? And they somehow found each other. But at the beginning of the book, the main character, and I do not remember her name, Alexis accidentally kills somebody by trying to have sex with them. And the girls come together as a group using their magic to try and get rid of the body, and it backfires hardcore. So they go through this little advent thing of them trying to dispose of the body parts, because his body's separated into several different parts, and each girl gets rid of 2 things. And when she gets rid of the 2 body parts, she loses a piece of herself. Like, for example, one of the girls can see her magic, and she loses the ability to see her own magic, and just things like that. And it was so cool and so fun and sapphic also, which was really cool to see. And I really, really loved the atmosphere and the adventure and the friendship and the love that was in here. It was honestly amazing, and I can't get over how cool it was. I do not have a cover for this one because I painted the background color, and that's about as far as I got. That was the last one for the art pieces that I just haven't finished yet. Also, drawing 6 people is going to be atrocious. Alright, the next book I have on here was also a 4-star read, and that was Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I won't talk too much about this one because it is a beloved favorite, but I will say that this is how you do an indeterminate ending. There's another one on my list, but I've had a whole thing this year about indeterminate endings and ending your book properly and all that kind of stuff. This was a good ending. This was amazing. That's what I want in life. The movie was okay, but I really, this is my favorite Stephen King book. He's okay, he's mediocre, but this one was good. The next book, we're back to 5 stars, is The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. Definitely recommend this book. Oh my gosh. I read this for my novel study in my comparative world literature class, I think that's what it was called, and wrote a whole presentation on it and paper, and oh my gosh, it was so good. This was just incredibly amazing. In this book, we follow Oscar from a different point of view, somebody telling his story, and he is a kid who is chubby. He is a nerd. He's not well liked. He's very much an outsider, and everybody knows it, and they keep him outside. And he's like, sure, I'll be an outsider. Even like his own best friends don't want to hang out with him at certain things. They like get girlfriends and they don't invite him out anymore, and it's really sad and depressing. But his sister Lola is telling the story, and then her boyfriend slash ex-boyfriend Junior is also helping tell the story. Discover that there is kind of a curse on their family. It's not very, some of them don't believe in it, like Lola doesn't believe in it, but Oscar believes in it. And so they recount their mother's life in the Dominican Republic and what happened to her and why she left, and the curse on her. And then they go back to her father, who she never met because he was the original person who got the curse, and what happened to him and how he got the curse. And it's just a really, really cool way of telling the story, and I liked the back and forth between like Oscar's life in the past, then Oscar's life now, Lola's life, their mom, their grandfather. Like, it jumped all over the place, but it was like perfectly told, and it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. It was amazing. The next one I have is an audiobook, and it is Silence Fallen by Patricia Briggs. This is like book 10 or 11 in this series. I've lost count of which one is which. I just listed them in order. This one is on my list because in it they go to Prague. Marcy gets kidnapped by vampires in Italy and then runs away to Prague, and I love Prague. I want to go to Prague. I think it's amazing, and everything that she sees there. I love that she's like, oh wait, there's so many more European vampires I can see, or not vampires, sorry, ghosts. There's more European ghosts. They just wander around everywhere. And the werewolves and the vampires of old and everything that's going on in Europe was just so cool to me, and I loved the concept. So that's why I gave it my list of favorite books this year. I think I read another one in this series this year too, but this one made it. The next book I read is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This one I gave 5 stars. This is, what number are we at? Number 11 on my list of 19. This one was very weird. If you watch my vlog for this one, I thought it was a joke. This one is a world of clairvoyance, and we don't really know how everybody got clairvoyance. Not everybody has it, but the people that do are outlawed. They're technically illegal. So they all end up working in gangs and slums and in the undercity and just in places where they're not really wanted. Our main character, Paige, is a dream walker, so she can leave her body and go walk somewhere else or in somebody else's mind or spirit. Can't remember what the name is. And then they get kidnapped by aliens. and the aliens are the reason that the clairvoyance is there. It seemed like a joke. It seemed like somebody was playing a prank on Paige, and I didn't know how to process that. But it was amazing. The aliens were weird. The ending was just, and I loved every aspect of it, even though I thought it was a joke. I did not know how to process this. Number 12 on the list is The Voyage of the Basilisk, a memoir by Lady Trent by Mary Brennan. This I've been raving about the last couple weeks. So this is the 3rd book. I've also read the 4th book in the series, but this one, our good friend Isabel goes on a world journey, self-funded, on a boat called the Basilisk, going after sea serpents, which is what's on the cover. That's a whale. That's a sea serpent. It's crazy. Anyways, she finds some. She studies them. They have a whole adventure. She brings her son along. She meets some cool people. She marries a woman temporarily, but it's just like the coolest book ever. I have to show you this picture because it's my favorite picture in the whole book. That's her son next to the giant sea serpent. Yeah, the adventure. There's volcanoes. They discover new things. She meets a man that she really likes, but there's no romance. And you need to read this series. It's become one of my favorite series of all time. It's so good. Number 13, we have The Box in the Woods. This is one of Maureen Johnson's books. Confusing as heck. The Truly Devious trilogy is right here. This comes after it. Same characters. New mystery. Stevie gets invited to a camp where she becomes a camp counselor, but she's really there to solve a murder that happened in the 1970s. 1970s camp murder. That's what we're about. Her relationship problems, though, I thought we figured them out. I was a little disappointed in that. But this is still amazing. 1970s camp murder. You literally cannot go wrong with that. So amazing. Next we have quite literally my favorite book that I read this year. And that is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This I have heard, and this is how I describe it to everybody. Somebody else told me this on Twitter. It is Song of Achilles meets a Mulan. Our main character here that I do not remember the name of because she has a different name and then switches over in the book, has been told that she does not have a future. She has no destiny. There's nothing there. But her brother, on the other hand, has an amazing destiny. He's going to do crazy, amazing things, okay? So she decides, after her brother dies from grief, to take his identity and his destiny and make it her own, and goes off to become a monk. And from there, she just I can't tell you what she does because it's just crazy. She can see ghosts. She's a weird monk that people think are crazy. She makes some cool friends. She somehow gets through her adolescence as a woman pretending to be a man in a place full of men, discovers war and magic and takes down a whole army and talks to ghosts. It's so cool. I can't even. Oh no, I dropped it. This is a terrible place for a stack down here because I have to lean down to get them now. Before they were up here, but no. Next up on the list, number 15, we have Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This was really cool. This was really fun. It was really awesome. I had a lot of internal debates, which I think was the point of this, based on death. So in this universe, we have mastered everything except for space travel. People don't die, they just reset. And people called scythes go and glean them or kill them. Just at random, they pick whoever they want. Some scythes are more ethical than others, so there's a huge topic on the ethics of death and what is considered ethical and what is considered not, which is great because I'm about to take my ethics class, so that'll be fun. However, people can't kill themselves, like suicide is basically illegal. If you kill yourself, they'll just bring you back. So there's people who do it to extremes where they just jump off of buildings and splat. They call it splatting. It's very weird. There's just a lot of things going on here that are very interesting and strange. So our two main characters, Rowan and Citra. I love Citra. Rowan was okay, but Citra knows what she wants and she gets it. She's entered in a competition. She will not even try to lose, even though she probably should. Rowan, on the other hand, is just okay. They go through several different people who train them, and they get trained a little bit differently after a bit, and they have this whole competition that they have to go through because they were both picked by Scythe Faraday, which is pretty much a no-no. And it's very interesting and very cool, and it opens up a lot of questions. And I cannot wait to read the next book. Okay, so the next book I do not have a copy of because I can't buy one in Canada. It's very weird. Anyways, Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I think is her name. I'm just going off the top of my head here. You know, the Kindle version of this. It was amazing. I've seen a lot of people not like this book as like a romance book because it's about a wedding, and I'm like, it's not really about a wedding. It like leads up to the wedding. Yeah, it's the adventure to get there mostly that it's about. And our main characters, oh my gosh, I don't even remember the main character's name. I just remember Aaron Blackford, and that's all that matters, honestly. That man, that's all I have to say. Next, number 17, we're almost there, we're almost at the end, is The Whisper Man. I gave this one 4 stars, Alex North. This was wild. Oh my gosh, another good example of an indeterminate ending. It implied a whole lot. I love what it implied. I had my mind blown at the end. This one follows 2 men. One is a police officer who is a detective that took down the original Whisper Man, and the other one is a man who moves his son to this new town, and his son has started hearing whispering outside the window at night for somebody to let him in. They cross paths, everything goes to shit. It's very fun, very creepy, a little bit terrifying. Second to last is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This was amazing. Oh my gosh. Our main character, Maya, I don't remember how to say it. I'm so sorry. She is a seamstress, or a tailor, I guess is what they're called. She's a tailor in a world full of men who are supposed to be tailors and women who are not. She has taught herself her skill, had her dad teach it to her. Her brothers never learned it because they all went off to war, and then her dad gets a summons from the palace to come be the imperial tailor. But of course, he's stricken with grief and can't really do anything, and his only living son does not know how to sew. So she pretends to be her brother and goes off to the palace to become the imperial tailor. That is the first half of the book, basically. Second half is this whole adventure that I'm not even going to tell you about because they just leave and it's crazy shit that she has to do. And I couldn't even believe where it was going because it was just like, literally, like right here is where the competition ended. And then there's so much more that you have to go through. And it was incredible and amazing, and my mind was blown. And the last and final book on this shelf, or this list, last but not the least important, probably one of the more important, it was just the last one I read this year that I thought was amazing, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Do I need to explain myself why this was so amazing? It was spicy, it's a new fantasy series, our main character Poppy is just wonderful. She's the maiden. She's been veiled most of her life, which means she's been God chosen. Nobody can look at her, nobody can talk to her, nobody can eat with her. She has to eat in her own room. She's not allowed to associate herself with other people. But on the side, secretly, she has a best friend, and she has learned how to fight, and she actually makes friends with her guards. And then enters Hawk, the new guard, who takes the place of her one that actually died. I'm not gonna tell you why, but he comes in and he's like, ooh, we're doing this, and then kidnaps her. So it's fun. That was probably the worst explanation to From Blood and Ash that I could ever give you, but you're welcome. I had some good reads. Most of my reads in 2021 were mediocre, which is why I was so disappointed at the list of 19, and I apologize for it, but I literally have nothing else on there that I might put. But thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun. What was your favorite read of 2021? Mine was, take a wild guess, I already said it, She Who Became the Sun, and I literally cannot wait till the next one comes out. This one was so cool though, it came with a bookmark when I bought it. Very fun. But thank you so much for watching. This will be my last 2021 video, other than an unhaul that's coming soon. I am very excited to say goodbye to 2021 and finally be finished with this. So goodbye to the shittiest year ever. We will have more fun reading this year, I promise. It will be great. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye!